Good morning, guys. Just so we're clear, I'm going to repeat the rules for the class again. Normally, the video will go up around 9 a.m. You can watch the video at any time throughout the day. You don't need to wait for me via video conference or calls unless you request a Skype conference if you don't understand something, and that's fine. I'm always reachable via Teams, no matter the time. You can just chat and I'll respond. I've been responding. The video will always be uploaded at 9 a.m. around that time in the class forum. So that's where you should go first. Always go to the class forum, watch the video. The video will have the class and also the homework for the day. After you watch the video, you go to the attendance forum, and then you're going to type here or present after you watch the video. Again, the whole point of the attendance post is to let me know that you have seen the day's video and the day's class. There is no point putting the post up in the morning if the video isn't up yet. After you see the class and you pass attendance, then you can work on the homework, which will be stated what to do in the video. After you do the homework, you upload it to the homework forum before 10 p.m. Remember, failure to do so will cost you points. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the posts. I am the only person that is to create new posts. All my posts have the date and the subject. That way, we can clearly find a specific date and a specific subject and see what happened that day. If people start adding posts, it's going to just spam too much and it's going to be too disorganized. So if you create a post from this day on, I will take away points. Always reply to the post in the class answer and question forum. The homework is only for the homework, and I will be posting corrections, which I already have. The attendance is just to say here or present, and the class forum is to ask any questions and talk amongst yourselves. No spam or unneeded information. Please, let's keep it organized for everybody. Now, I hope that's clear. And again, this applies to my class. You don't have to wait for a video call, but you do have to watch the video every day. You do have to take your attendance in the attendance form, because I will be uploading the attendance to Rediker daily. And you do have to send the homework daily. Remember, pictures of your work, process, I do corrections. Now let's move on to today's class. After we finished yesterday's class, which was the remainder theorem, today we're going to focus on a different theorem, the factor theorem. Now, 4.4 is called factoring polynomials. Remember, I told you we will be using factoring throughout the year and through all of next year. Factoring is your new best friend, besides your actual best friend. So what you should do is use this time. If you're not actually 100% sure, find online problems. You can do them. And if you need, you can send me the pictures via chat and I will correct them and guide you through the process. You need to know how to factor. Remember, as far as factoring goes, what you really need to get your hands on and know at 100% is greatest common factor, difference of squares, trinomial factoring or standard form factoring, and grouping. Those are the basic four you need to know yesterday. You have to know them. We've been doing them this year. We took multiple tests. You need to know how to factor. If you're not sure yet, use this time to practice. Now, in this chapter, they give us other forms, such as different patterns, sum and difference of cubes, but I don't request that you know how to do them. It's not that common that you'll see sum and difference of cubes. There is a formula. You just plug in the specific values. The formula is actually on page 180 at the bottom. Again, you have two cubes. You just plug in the appropriate numbers and you're done. So I'm not going to focus on that one too much. And remember, there is also decomposition, which I might do a video call and do a couple of problems live, but that's apart from the normal class. The normal class will be a daily video, okay? If everybody wants to know how to decompose factors, we can definitely set up a meeting. Now, the factor theorem is used to determine whether a binomial or a polynomial that we're looking is a factor of a larger polynomial. And the way we do this is using the factor theorem. There are two things we can do. We can either substitute the value and see what we end up with. That's going to tell us whether I'm looking at a factor or not. And synthetic division. Now, when we look at regular numbers, is 2 a factor of 20? Yes. How do I know? I can divide 20 evenly by 2 and get a remainder of 0. Again, keyword, remainder 0. If I have, is 3 a factor of 9? Yes, you can divide 9 by 3 and get a remainder of 0. So what we're looking for in the factor theorem is actually finding values answers in which the remainder is 0. That's going to tell us that we're looking at a factor. And you'll see how that plays into the whole bigger picture in a little bit. So let's look at the first example. The first example is called pretty much substitution. And you can see it in example 5. In example 5, A is using substitution, which is this exercise. In substitution, all we have to do is substitute the value that we are given into x and see what I get. If I get a 0 at the end, that means that this is a factor of this. If I don't get a 0, then it is not a factor. So let's begin. 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 4. Let's see what happens now. 2 squared is 4, plus 4 minus 4. These two cancel out, and I'm left with a value of 4. So f of 2 equals 4. Since that number is not 0, 2 is not a factor of this polynomial, okay? If this were a 0, it would be a factor. And in all honesty, when we use the factor theorem, we're not going to be using substitution much or at all. Actually, I'm just showing this to you so you know that it exists. We're always going to be doing synthetic division. Because what's the point of learning synthetic division if we're just going to go ahead and substitute? The whole point of synthetic division is to avoid having to substitute. But know that that is a tool at your disposal. It is very long. It's not very useful. But you can do it if you want to do it. But again, I recommend synthetic division. Now, let's go over synthetic division. Again, and for synthetic division, I'm asked to verify that if x plus 5 is a factor of this polynomial. Okay? So step 1, I confirm that I can divide synthetically, making sure it's x plus something or x minus something. So it qualifies. Step 2, I'm going to find the constant and change the sign. Remember, in synthetic division, this is the only sign change that happens. -5. Then, again, remember, this is where most students do mistakes. I make sure I don't have to input any zeros. 4th degree, 3rd degree, 2nd degree, constant. I'm missing my 1st degree, so that means I have to plug in a 0 there. I look at my coefficients. 3 plus 15 minus 1. Remember, that's not a 0. There's a 1 in front that you can't see. Here I put a 0 and then 25. Let's get rid of that plus. And again, I'm going to do synthetic division. 3 plus 0, we always begin adding. Add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply until you're done.